Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Coyote 305 and Dr. Fernandez. And today we're diving into a fascinating topic: epidemiology and the paradox of affluence. Why millionaires still get heart disease. Despite all their resources, high net worth individuals face a unique set of risks that can snip up and even more successful people. Let's explore why success sometimes comes with a hidden cardiovascular price tag. Here is a roadmap for today. We'll start with the big picture paradox, review the epidemiology, then dig deep into the specific habits that drive risks in affluent populations: diet, alcohol, substance stress, exercise streams, and travel. Finally, we'll cover practical, evidence based prevention strategies you can actually use with your patients. Buckle up, this is full of surprises. The paradox of affluence. Here's the paradox: higher income and education usually protect against heart disease, but the wealthiest group still carries a substantial burden. They have better access to care, yet the distinctive lifestyle, think private jets, 80-hour work weeks, Michelin star dinners, and ultra endurance races, create its own perfect storm of risk factors. Money buys a lot, but it doesn't automatically buy heart health. Cardiovascular disease remains the undisputed number one killer worldwide. The landmark Pure study of over 150,000 people across 21 countries show that in high income countries, roughly 70% of cardiovascular disease is driven by modifiable factors. Metabolic issues like hypertension lead the pack at 22.3%. Population attributable fraction follow closely by behavioral risks. The good news: these are fixable. Evidence from large studies, Mendelian randomized studies, nature's own randomized trials confirm that higher household income causally reduce risk of coronary disease, heart attacks, and hypertension. The odds ratio are impressive, 0.63 for CAD. For example, this protection comes through better biomarkers, so genetics and money helps. But as we'll see, lifestyle can override this advantage. Look at US data from 1999 to 2018. Even the highest income groups has seen rising obesity and diabetes. While the wealthy have enjoyed the biggest drop in cardiovascular disease prevalence, the gap is widening. Midlife wealth, mobility, and literally add 10 to 15 years to life expectancy. Success is great, but only if you protect your heart along the way. Dietary patterns in affluent population. Affluent patients don't usually eat fast food. They eat fine dining, frequent restaurant meals, gourmet sauces, aged steak, and artisanal cocktails add up to calorie dense, high sodium, high saturated fat bombs. The new 2026 AHA dietary guidance is clear: cut added sugar, sodium, and saturated fat. Those $28 cocktails, they're not doing your arteries any favors. Alcohol consumption paradigm shift. We used to love the J curve. A little wine is heart healthy. Newer, strong evidence destroyed that myth. The sweet spot for lower mortality is about 7 drinks per week. Beyond that, risk rises linearly for stroke, heart failure, and hypertensive disease. Binge drinking, it doubles your coronary risk. Bottom line, from the AHA, if you don't drink, don't start for health reasons. Alcohol by socioeconomic status. Interestingly, wealthy people suffer less harm at the same drinking level than lower income groups. Better healthcare, better nutrition, etc. But the direction is the same. More alcohol, more risk. Alcohol abuse carries myocardial infarction risk similar to diabetes. That 500 bottle of wine might taste great, but your heart is keeping the score. Tobacco and alternative products. Cigarette smoking is low in this group, but cigars, hookah, and vaping are social batches in high net worth circle. Exclusive cigar use raises stroke risk 34 to 53%. Hookah deliver more toxins than cigarettes in a single session. Vaping causes the same endothelial damage. Bottom line, all nicotine products are off the table if you want a healthy arteries. Recreational drug use. Here's something many cardiologists miss in wealthy patients: cocaine, amphetamines, cannabis, and opiates. A study of over 1.2 million patients showed that these substances independently drive premature atherosclerosis. Polysubstance use can increase risk almost ninefold. Methamphetamine is now a top cause of non-ischemic cardiomyopathy. Success shouldn't come with a side of weekend party damage. Occasional stress. Many of these patients live in high stake roles with massive responsibility and effort reward imbalance. Work stress raises incident cardiovascular disease by 40%. Combined job strain can more than double coronary risk. The Interheart study shows psychosocial stress has an effect size comparable to diabetes for heart attack. Chronic stress is a silent killer wearing a Rolex. Mechanism of stress-induced cardiovascular disease. Here's what's happening inside the body. Constant cortisol and catecholamine damage endothelium, promotes inflammation, increase clotting tendency, and drive insulin resistance. Mental stress can trigger ischemia at lower heart rate than exercise, and often silently. This is why you high-achieving patient can look perfect on paper but still have an event. Social isolation and loneliness. Despite the big network and private clubs, many affluent individuals are surprisingly lonely. Demanding schedule, frequent travel, and high divorce rate contribute. Meta-analysis show 16 to 17% higher cardiovascular risk and 23% higher stroke risk from isolation. Depression adds another 25%. The combination is particularly deadly. Connection matters more than net worth. Sedentary behaviors. Here's the irony. They have pelotons and personal trainers but still sit for 10 to 12 hours a day in meetings, planes, on a desk. Sedentary time is an independent risk factor. 29% higher cardiovascular risk in the worst group, plus 5% per extra hour. Standing up every 30 to 60 minutes is one of the simplest, cheapest interventions you can recommend. Sleep deprivation. Early morning, late night, red-eye flights. Sleep is often the first sacrifice. Poor sleep drives hypertension, arrhythmias, diabetes, and inflammation. Combined with low activity and mortality risks skyrocket. Teach your patients that sleep is not a luxury, it's a performance enhancer for both business and health, and heart health. Extreme endurance exercise. Now the fun paradox. Too much exercise can hurt. Male masters athletes show more coronary calcification and up to 5-fold higher atrial fibrillation risk. Myocardial fibrosis appears in 17% of male triathletes. The message: moderate exercise medicine. Extreme endurance without supervision can become poison. Balance is everything. Travel related risks. Frequent long haul travel brings two big risks: blood clots, one event per 4,500 flights, and circadian disruption that more than doubles. Cardiovascular disease risk is irregular sleep. Hydration, movement, and compression stocking aren't just for economy class, they matter in first class too. Lifestyle essential framework. The American Heart Association gives us the perfect blueprint. Life Essential 8: diet, activity, tobacco avoidance, sleep, weight, cholesterol, blood pressure, and glucose. Mastering these 8 factors gives the stronger foundation for prevention in any population, especially affluent ones who have the resources to excel at them. Lifestyle impact on genetic risk. Even if your patient has terrible genetics, a healthy lifestyle can cut coronary event risk by nearly 50%. The KITA study proved this beautiful. You're not stuck with your DNA. Behavior is a powerful modifier. This is one of the most hopefully message in preventing cardiology. Pharmacological prevention. When lifestyle isn't enough, medications shine. Antihypertensive, statins, and multifactorial approaches all deliver strong relative risk reduction. Use pool cohort equation plus calcium scoring to personalize. For these patients, we can be precise and aggressive. Targeted recommendations: diet and alcohol. Practical advice: limit alcohol to under 100 grams per week or don't start. Choose restaurant wisely, prioritize whole foods, and cut hidden sodium and sugars. Small changes in fine dining habits yield big results. Targeted recommendations: screen everyone, even wealthy patients, for tobacco products and recreational drugs. Be direct, but non judgmental. Complete avoidance of all nicotine and carefully manage of other substances is non negotiable. Targeted recommendations: stress and mental health. Make psychosocial screening routine. Ask about work stress, loneliness, and depression. Integrate behavioral health support. Sometimes the best cardiovascular intervention is helping someone protect their relationship and set boundaries at work. Targeted recommendations: activity and recovery. Prescribe at least 150 minutes of moderate activity, but warn against unsupervised extreme training. Emphasize breaking up sitting time and protecting sleep consistent. Recovery is part of performance. Advanced screening consideration. Concierge medicine helps with access, but it hasn't shown dramatic outcomes improvement in already low risk groups. Use calcium scoring smartly. Avoid overtesting. Thoughtful prevention beats expensive gadgets. Multidisciplinary approach. The winning formula is a team: cardiologist, dietitian, exercise physiologist, behavioral specialist, and pharmacist, supported by wearable and telemedicine. This is how we turn knowledge into sustained behavior changes. So, what gives millionaires heart disease? Fine dining, excess, alcohol, alternative smokes and drugs, chronic stress, isolation, sitting too much, poor sleep, jet lag, and over the top endurance events. These are the hidden costs of success. Call to action. The good news: everything we discuss is modifiable. Using the Life Essential A Plus targeted strategies, we can dramatically reduce risk even in high achievers. Help your patients align their success habits with heart healthy ones. The goal isn't just longer life, it's a vibrant, high performance life. Thank you for your attention. This topic is clinical relevant and personally important for many of our patients. Happy to take questions. Thank you so much, and for your attention. Remember, this is only for education.